Welcome once again to Commander by Danon. Today's video was brought to us by Patreon supporter Roxy. Huge thanks to Roxy and the rest of my Patreon supporters. Roxy reached out asking for a Grixis Spellslinger deck for her husband. Her husband's favorite color in Magic is black, so we wanted to focus on black win conditions. Additionally, she's been stomping him with her Vorinclex and Dinosaur decks, so she wanted me to help him build a deck that at least stood a chance against her. But before we get started, I'd like to quickly ask you to like and subscribe. It really does help the channel and it's free. With that out of the way, let's get into the video. Cormela Glamour Thief is a 4-mana 2/4 legendary vampire rogue with haste. We may pay 1 and add 1 each of blue, black, and red mana to our mana pool, but we can only use that mana to cast instants and sorceries. When Cormela dies, we can return up to 1 target instant or sorcery card from our graveyard to our hand. So not only do we have mana ramp in the command zone, but lots of combo potential as well. What combos, you ask? Don't worry, I didn't include Thassa's Oracle and Demonic Consultation in the deck. But we do have a few interesting and infinite combos to play with, as well as some nice distractions that our opponents will hopefully burn their removal on. But before we get to our deck list, we should keep in mind our checklist. 50 mana sources, usually split between 37 lands and 13 pieces of ramp, 10 pieces of card advantage, 8 to 10 pieces of spot removal, 2 to 3 board wipes, 2 pieces of graveyard hate, and 1 sudden I win card. As I'm sure you've heard by now, this channel is sponsored by Ultimate Guard. Ultimate Guard is famous for their boulder, and they now have the new Boulder Tray. Designed to carry both your commander deck and enough dice to satisfy anyone but a dice goblin, you can get yours in a variety of colors, like the frosted ones seen here. Find out if your local game store carries the Ultimate Guard Boulder Tray, or click on the link down below to order yourself one from Amazon. One more thing before we get started. I've been streaming Final Fantasy XIV over on my other channel every weekday in the afternoons. If you want to pop in and ask some questions, chat about Commander, or just hang out, you're more than welcome to. Command Tower, Exotic Orchard, Polluted Delta, Scalding Tarn, Bloodstained Mire, Misty Rainforest, Verdant Catacombs, Arid Mesa, Xander's Lounge, Watery Grave, Steam Vents, Blood Crypt, Morphic Pool, Training Center, Luxury Suite, Shipwreck Marsh, Stormcarved Coast, Haunted Ridge, Drowned Catacomb, Sulphur Falls, Dragon Skull Summit, Contaminated Aquifer, Molten Tributary, Geothermal Bog, Bajuka Bog, 2 islands, 2 swamps, and 2 mountains make up our land base for this deck. Soul Ring, Arcane Signet, Talisman of Dominance, Talisman of Indulgence, Talisman of Creativity, Dimir Signet, Rakdos Signet, Izzet Signet, Relic of Sauron, Chromatic Lantern, Decanter of Endless Water, Goblin Electromancer, and Stormkiln Artist make up our rather reasonable ramp package. But to help our Spellslinger package, we've also got Dark Ritual, Seething Song, and Mana Geyser as rituals. Archmage Emeritus, Ring Sight, Nasty End, Corrupted Conviction, Deadly Dispute, Teferi's Ageless Insight, Diabolic Intent, and Footsteps of the Goryo make up our card advantage package. But since we're in Spellslinger, we're also running Preordain, Faithless Looting, Brainstorm, Frantic Search, Ponder, Opt, Big Score, Thrill of Possibility, Consider, Unexpected Windfall, Expressive Iteration, and Serum Visions as cantrips. Commit Memory, Abrade, Hero's Downfall, Terminate, Bedevil, Negate, Counterspell, Feed the Swarm, Chaos Warp, Arcane Denial, Rakdos Charm, and Pongify serve as our interaction package. Blasphemous Act and Toxic Deluge help to clear the board as needed. Fiery Inscription, Erebor Flamesmith, Gutter Snipe, Electrostatic Field, and Kessig Flamebreather make up our distraction package. To help protect both them and our commander, we're running Demonic Gifts, Undying Malice, and Fake Your Own Death. Saw in Half for shenanigans, Exsanguinate, and Torment of Hailfire as win conditions, and Ashnod's Altar for reasons. To help copy our spells and to close out the game faster, we've got Thousand Year Storm, Sea Double, Expansion Explosion, Narset's Reversal, Reiterate, and Dualcaster Mage. Now that we have our deck list, let's compare it to our checklist. 45 mana sources split between 31 lands and 14 pieces of ramp. Very light, but we have ways around it, so it's fine. 8 pieces of card advantage plus 14 cantrips. 12 pieces of interaction. 2 board wipes. 3 pieces of graveyard hate in Rakdos Charm, Commit Memory, and Bojuka Bog. 1 Sudden I Win card in Saw in Half. Not only does Saw in Half go infinite with Dualcaster Mage, if we cast it after casting Dark Ritual, we can go infinite with our commander. Here's how it works. Cormela is on the battlefield. We cast Dark Ritual, adding 3 black mana to our mana pool. We then use 1 black to activate Cormela, adding 3 more mana to our mana pool. We use 3 of that mana to cast Saw in Half, targeting Cormela. The original Cormela goes to the graveyard, triggering and allowing us to bring Dark Ritual back to our hand. Also, we now have 2 legendary creatures with the same name. Legend Rule, one of the copies of Cormela dies, giving us another trigger, allowing Saw in Half to come back to our hand. And now we have an untapped Cormela, Dark Ritual, and Saw in Half in hand, as well as 2 mana floating. This combo gives us infinite black mana, as well as infinite blue or red mana, but that blue or red mana can only be used to cast an instant or sorcery. There's also the combo with Cormela, Ashnod's Altar, and Footsteps of the Goryo, which gives us infinite blue or red mana that can only be used to cast an instant or sorcery, as well as infinite colorless mana. Now, I mentioned earlier that we have enough lands, despite only running 31 in the deck. The only things that can replace lands in a commander deck are a super low-to-the-ground curve, and I mean around an average of 1.3 or lower, or card advantage. Specifically cantrips. And you want to run about 2 cantrips for every missing land. Well, it just so happens that we're running 12 cantrips in this deck, which is enough to replace 6 lands. Finally, I mentioned trap cards. Gutter Snipe and other cards like him seem great at a glance. You cast a bunch of spells, burn your opponents down, everyone dies, game over. The problem is, cards like that draw a ton of hate. So playing them in a deck like this is bait to draw out our opponent's cards. We want them to spend their precious removal or board wipes getting rid of cards like Electrostatic Field, so they don't have anything left when we combo off with Cormela Glamour Thief. Now, the reason I went with Cormela Glamour Thief as opposed to other Spellslinger commanders in Grixis is because she's not very well known. If you have a Kess deck, people expect you to crush the table quickly and ruthlessly. People won't believe you if you say, oh, it's just a casual deck, don't worry. You will be hated out of the game. But Cormela is just an uncommon. Surely she can't be that scary, right? Do you have a Grixis Spellslinger deck? Are you thinking about building one? Leave a comment below. Thanks for tuning in. Once again, a huge shout out to my editor Cutestuff. I couldn't make these videos without her. If you'd like to hire her to edit your own videos, she can be reached at cutestuff.edits@gmail.com. Link is down below. If you're looking for ways to support the channel directly, you can head on over to patreon.com/Danon. One of the tiers is specifically set up for Commander. For only $25, I will build you a custom commander deck based around your specifications, and even do a deck video on it. I also wanted to give a quick shout out to all of my patrons: Waffles, Jiraiya, Danny, Muffins, Marcus, Squishy, Brett, Roxy, Josh, Sean, Pob Zombie, Mark, Alex, Daniel, Steve, Kevin, Alex, Cookie, Nick, Borgie, Jake, and Exiled Rogue. You guys are awesome. I post new commander deck videos often, so be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified of new videos. Also, if you're a fan of anime and manga like I am, feel free to check out my other channel, Musings by Damon. Again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all again next time on Commander by Damon.